everyone, Caren Glasser here, and welcome to Uncorked Live. We are so excited. We are talking about life, why it happens, all with beverages in our hand. Stay tuned.
Uncorked Live with Caren Glasser and Mel Greenberg, making the most of life's peak stage and sharing it all with you.
And I'm Mel Greenberg, and we're back. And Caren, let's do this. Season 2. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Welcome.
Cheers. What are you drinking, Mel?
I'm drinking Farniente Chardonnay. And I really did pick this for tonight's episode because Farniente, Il Dolce Farniente, loosely translates to the sweet art of doing nothing. And I kind of view this stage of our life as that. And it's not about doing nothing, sitting on a couch, being a vegetable. It's about embracing the what comes, and really the yin and the yang, and maybe sometimes no action is good action, and it's okay, and just enjoy it. And
Absolutely.
Kind of where we are.
I'm drinking a beautiful bottle of wine called Roundabout Midnight, and it's Napa wine of Cliff Lady. And Cliff Lady, this guy who owns the winery, all of the vineyards, all of the where they plant are all old rock and roll songs.
And is it a cab? What is it a blend?
It is a Cabernet.
Nice.
And it is delicious. Delicious. Yum, yum, yum.
All right. Well,
yum, yum.
For two things. One, welcome, everybody. And you'll notice we're in our separate locations. I'm coming to you live from my home in Tucson, Arizona. And Caren is
from Palm Desert, California. Both hot, except I think it's cold by you right now, right?
It's fall. It's our version of fall, and it's awesome. We are really thrilled, and we're really happy. You know, it's like, you like us, you really like us.
Sally Field.
It turns out you did, and you had fun last year, and we had a great time. We loved that we tapped into something which is a true, authentic conversation about of aging. And sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not. And that's why, frankly, that is why we are in our locations. That is why we didn't launch the season in September. And we're going to go into that a little bit. Caren, I know that you've said you're willing to really open the book here. And I think that's a really wonderful thing that you're willing to share your vulnerability, because it's pretty heavy stuff, and it's where a lot of us are. I'm 62. You are
65. I'm going to be 66 next month.
Yeah. And you get to this point where
it happens.
And sometimes it just keeps happening.
Exactly. So we're kind of navigating these changes, right? That life is bringing us. And, you know, we talk about positive aging rather than anti-aging or whatever. And let's talk a little bit about that. I know there's a lot of research behind that whole idea of positive aging.
There is. And, you know, we are, and the research supports this, and we have some links that we will share with you if you want to do further, you know, kind of deep dive into the story and to understand the why. We actually are more capable as we age to deal with that happens. And I think my personal opinion is that it's because you're more comfortable in your skin. We get to a point where we've been there, done that. And maybe I think too, for me, doing something like, I was in my 20s, I was in media, but I was always behind the camera, I was painfully shy, always asked to be in front of the camera. I would have rather died. And I think it's because in your youth, you're building, you're growing, you have expectations and wants. And by the time when I started doing tours for the first book, I got to the point I didn't care. And I was like, if I make a mistake, it's okay. If we make a mistake here, it's okay. We're all okay with that. And I think that helps in building our resilience in our health. And it shows up in our health. It shows up in our mental health.
Totally.
And you know a lot about this issue.
I do. A lot of challenges. I don't know if we want to jump right into it right now. I think we're going to talk about, you know, how our personal reflections. I think, Mel, do you want me to jump in first about my personal reflections?
I want to let's talk about why we're separate.
Talk a little bit about why we're doing this. About 4 months ago, my husband was diagnosed with lymphoma. It had returned. And for anyone that has gone through a loved one having cancer, or maybe even yourself having cancer, you know how that just flips your entire life upside down. And it did. and and because of that, everything changed over the summer. I know we left our last show, I was so excited because I was going to be going to British Columbia with my siblings.
And
I
that was
had
your
gotten
first time out.
my first time out since the whole crazy, and I'd gotten my passport and I was ready to go, and then it happens. And we just pivot, right? We pivot, we do what we have to do. But it did change everything that we were doing, because originally you were going to come into town and we were going to go out and do our thing and record all these shows. But you know what, we're flexible.
You have
And
to be.
we go with the flow, which is really the message here. We have to go with the flow because you just never know what's going to happen next, other than it.
Yeah. And I think that's what the research is really bringing forth, that you learn to go with the flow. And the
Right.
more that you allow yourself, we all have that internal voice. And
Right.
usually it's the really icky critical one that's telling you you've done, you're failing, this
Right.
one doesn't like you, this
Right.
you can be better. But if you really stop and open your heart and
Yep.
listen to that voice in a different, turn the volume down a bit
Right.
and create some silence, and the message is in the space, in the silence. And
Totally. Totally.
we have that capability, and I think more so to appreciate that as we age. And if we do that, if we open ourselves to listening and just kind of going with what comes,
Absolutely.
it's going to happen anyway.
It
So
is. It absolutely.
why
Joey, hi.
you're kicking and
Thanks.
screaming.
Yeah, Joey, thanks for tuning in. Hi. Yeah, it happens. And I like to call it the itty bitty shitty committee in my head. It just talks
Yeah.
and talks and talks and talks. And what Joey says, yeah, life is all about pivoting and going with what is
Yes.
happening
Thank you,
with
Joey. You're
grace.
exactly right.
Absolutely.
Joa.
Absolutely. And that is what we did. We pivoted. And so here we sit in opposite,
Hi,
and I'm
Julie.
going to put Julie up here. Hi, Julie. Hi.
This is so
We
awesome.
love this. If you're
Welcome,
tuning in,
everybody.
tell us you're tuning in. We'll put you up on the screen. We'd love to put you up
Yeah.
on the screen.
Mhm. Yeah,
So,
I think it's important. And so now you're going forward, and you've got
yeah,
plans, and you did work through so much, and you step by step, you got through the storm. And and I think that's
right.
the other thing. By the time we get to this age, we've weathered a few storms, and you
We
realize
have.
that it
We
does
have.
suck, and things do suck, and life is not fair, but you do get through it.
And people always say that you get to the second half and oh my God, everything falls apart. It doesn't. It's not. The second half is not better than the first.
I
It's
love
but it's
that. Yeah.
not worse either.
It just
It's just
is.
it
Yeah.
is. It's a beautiful, beautiful, as you
There's
like to
a
say,
lot of
revel.
that narrative right now, and I
Right.
I don't like it. I don't It's like, this is the best ever. This part of your life is it's
No.
I can go through a number of the best evers, and we're all
Exactly.
important, and we carry them all forward with us, and they
Right.
all actually contribute to who we are now. It's different.
Exactly.
It's another chapter, and it's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So we're going to kind of jump into this whole conversation and talk about what's new and what has happened during the summer, other than some illness going on. And I say some illness because I am sure everyone has something going on in their world, and it's how we approach it and how we deal with it. Mel,
Yeah.
I am so excited for you. You have a new book coming out.
I do. I'm working, and I've gone a little different route, and the trilogy is still continuing, but I'm writing romance now. And there's this a canyon that there's it's from the point and the perspective of a woman our age. And I learned that through the Running with Our Eyes Closed trilogy, that women were really interested and appreciative of a character who was a vital sexual wanting being.
Yes.
Just because we're 60, we're not dead.
We're not
We have
dead.
wants and desires and needs, and not. It's kind of a throwback to traditional romance. And it's very exciting.
And what's really, I mean, it's been on you have a show option on it, right? It's the
That's on the trilogy.
That's on the trilogy.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have
yeah.
it's and your sales grew. I mean, all this wonderful stuff has been happening for you, which I am thrilled for that. And your nest. I mean,
My nest grew too.
your nest grew too.
Yeah, I have
They're
everybody
back.
home now. And I know it's temporary, and I'm going to probably go through a major sadness again when
Right.
everybody leaves. My youngest son moved home. He's building a house, and it won't be ready until next spring. And a series of events occurred, and he just it was I take your old room. You come on back. It's one more
Right.
person. And my son, my oldest son and his wife and my first grandchild are living with us again. The mark, everyone knows the
So
housing markets
lucky.
have
You're
been
so lucky.
insane.
Oh my gosh.
And they came during COVID and never left. And I'm grateful. And he is blessed to be able to be a part of the Hollywood industry that affords him to work remotely. So he gets to stay in Tucson and I get to be close to my grandchild and my family. So I have everyone in tow and I joke with them that they just are killing my brand, but it's all good. I love it.
But I love it, and I'm actually a little jealous. I live vicariously through you with your beautiful granddaughter, Isla. I mean, she's just adorable. I
It's
can't
a
want to
joy.
pinch. I want to just pinch those cheeks. Now, I don't have an empty nest. My kids were gone, gone, gone. However, my son and his wife did move to the desert, which is way cool. I mean, they're the
Around
local,
the corner.
just around the corner. But even more cool is that my son and I launched a new show called Minding Your Mental Health. This is Rob, and he's a mental health advocate. And how cool is this that I'm able to get on a live with my son, and we go live every single week talking about those important topics about health and mental health in particular. So I'm
Well,
so proud of him.
guys, if you haven't had a chance to catch an episode, do so because it's beautiful to see mother and son together. But it's actually from Rob's perspective, and he is an incredible advocate in the mental health field and
Right,
life.
right.
And I learned so much, and it's a beautiful interaction. And yes, to get to work with your children, what a gift.
You know what? That never would have happened.
If,
And that's the thing. I look at the blessings. I look at how grateful I really am, and I could have buried my head. I could have gone under the covers and said, I can't do this. And in fact, I almost did that. But then I realized, life goes on, and it continues to go on. And my husband's going to be fine. And I really do believe
yes.
that. But look at this opportunity that I had to start this show with my son. So I am very, very proud of him. I'm loving the show. We're getting lots and lots of views. We're getting a lot of hits on it. So
Wonderful.
I'm a proud mom. Totally
I
proud
mean, you
mom.
should be. And I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy for both of you. And really for the community because you are getting and yesterday was World Mental Health Day, and
Right,
it's a
right.
after COVID, especially, we're feeling the effects of the mental
Oh my
health
goodness.
issues. So it's
Yeah.
profound what you're bringing out, and
Thank you.
thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
having a blast. Even more importantly, I'm having a blast. I look forward to it. And in fact, he's grabbing me to drop on most of his shows. He just
I
loves
love
doing
it.
videos with me. So I'm having a lot of fun. And I think this goes to the point of that, our adult children relationships, they change as they get older, as we get older. I look at my son now like he's an adult. I mean, even though he's always been an adult at this age, but I no longer look at him as like this kid.
Yeah.
He is an adult, and our relationship has changed. How about you?
Well, that's been the remarkable revelation while my sons have been home, that because we've always been close,
Right,
but now and they're living at home again, but in such
right,
a different capacity. And to be adult with them and I there's parts it comes out and you go back to family
right.
dynamics and interactions like, no, wait, you're not 10, stop. And it's I learned so much, and I'm open to learning from them, and I'm very blessed. I love my son's wife, and it's great. I'm not going to lie; it's great to have female energy in my house because the only other female energy I
Was
have
you?
ever had are my dogs. So we sit at the table and have tea and talk or wine
Right.
and talk, and that kind of interaction did not happen in that way. So I'm really, really deeply appreciative of that. And I get that. I think that again, it's just being open to the new season, and not better,
Absolutely.
but
Not better.
beautifully
Just
different.
different.
And I'm
Just
happy to
different.
be here to enjoy it. Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
just tuning in right now and you're jumping in and we're talking about relationships, we're talking about empty nest, we're talking about how things change. If you have a situation in your life, why don't you put it in the comments? Let us know what's going on in your life. Do you have an empty nest situation? Have the kids come back to roost? What's going on in your world? Let us know. We'd love to hear about it. we talked about my disappointment about not being able to go on a trip, and I have to be totally honest. I'm just gonna kind of just be
Put
totally
it out
honest.
there.
Yeah.
You?
Um, I really didn't want to go,
Why?
because I was afraid. Isn't
Still?
that I was afraid.
I'm
Not
nothing
and
about
I was afraid, you know? And part of me thought I kind of like manifested this whole thing like, phew, I don't have to go. But I'm really disappointed as I look back. It's like, I missed an amazing, amazing trip with my brothers and sisters and their significant others. And I hope we get a chance to do it again. But I know how my mind works, and you know how my mind works. We talked about this a lot when, should I go or should I stay, right? You
Mhm.
were going. I was like, no, I'm staying. I'm going to stay
Yeah, but
home.
you know what? I think, and I mean, obviously some people are predisposed more than others,
Right.
and I am too. But that's a good example. I was not looking. We went. My husband and I went. Part of our summer travel, we spent a week in Manhattan. I
Right.
was not looking forward to it. I was really nervous, and I told him that I'm like, I think I'd rather be going. And I love the city. I would rather because I've heard so much, I read so much, I saw so. It didn't. I was
Right.
scared. I went and we had a very long extended, a lot of different, different places. We were on a cruise
Right.
in Florida. It was my favorite part of the trip. So I
Uh,
think we build up this narrative in our head. Again,
right.
those stupid little voices that sometimes I do. I picture a hand and I just say stop. And I did that
Stop.
this past week with something and it was
I
just
I love that.
transformative.
I love
But
that.
we
We have
do, and we
yeah.
create these scenarios that become bigger than life
Right.
unnecessarily, and I think you did that, and
Oh, I
sadly
did
you
that. I
couldn't work
totally
out,
did
you
that.
couldn't go, but had you been able to, you would have
I
seen
would
that,
have had a
"Oh my
blast.
gosh." Yeah.
And because of that, I mean, we have some exciting news that we're going to kind of tease later on about travel, but we'll talk about that later. I want to say hello to Alicia. Thanks for joining us. She finally made it here. I am excited that you're
Yay!
here as well to hear the convo. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
joining us.
Well
So go for it.
no, we're talking about what we're doing, and I just spent a beautiful 5 days at Canyon Ranch.
Yes, you did.
And it was serendipitous, and those of you who follow me on Instagram and, Facebook know that this past week has been really emotional,
Right.
and I found out Monday that my best friend of 43 years had passed, and I was supposed to be flying tomorrow to DC to be with her. So, as I said, we're gonna have a lot of wine at another when we meet again and discuss this, but and I wasn't really I was a little, like, "Oh, I'm going to Canyon Ranch, eh?" But I got there and it ended up being the most beautiful experience for healing. And I've been to Canyon Ranch many times and I'm blessed. It's literally 2 miles from my house.
Right.
And I love it. But I experienced a different side of Canyon Ranch. And that was incredible. And one thing that was really cool is I learned a lot more about Mel Zuckerman, the founder, and he founded it at 50. So there you
Right.
go. Peak
Mm,
stage. Like, you're never, if you have a passion, follow it. It doesn't matter how
right.
old you are. And he
Exactly.
changed the world at 50 years old and he's 94 now. I mean, he just completely changed how we
Oh, wow.
our own
I
health
didn't
and our physical being.
wow.
And yeah, we did a lot. My girlfriend and I made fire from rubbing wood together and it.
I'm
I
gonna
gotta
put this picture back up. You were
Oh my God.
making fire. How cool is that?
I know. And then I sent you one. I was bent over like laughing because it's like I did it. It was unbelievable. Just again, they have so many new classes and so many new opportunities. I really didn't do when I've gone there in the past, I always did all the workout classes. And
Right.
of course, I will just disclose this, and now the whole world will know, including my husband. Uh, we decided we became body treatment aficionados and divas, and it was kind of obscene. Just like multiple times a day. It was just ridiculous. But their service providers and their services are off the charts. Just heads up for Canyon Ranch. Never
Yeah.
been to the one in Lenox, but I would like to actually see that. So if you have been, share with me because I would, either
Yeah.
here or privately send me a message because I would love to know your experience. But the reason I didn't do a lot of the workouts is because I have found an amazing way to work out. And it literally takes me 20 minutes a session, 2 reps of 10, and I can do them anywhere. And I hurt my shoulder about not quite a month ago in yoga doing a down dog because that can be
Yes.
pretty
Downward dog.
hard.
Yep.
And what is fabulous about the workouts I do is I can adjust So I never have to give up something, and I take it anywhere, and you can do it without a gym, anything. And I'm really proud to announce that this is our season 2 sponsor, which is Core Strength
Woohoo, I'm
50.
so excited.
And I would like to introduce you to Elaine.
Here we go.
If you're over 50 and you've hit a brick wall with your training, or you're just plain bored with your workouts, I get it. I've been there too. But don't give up or give in. Put yourself first. I've designed 20-minute holistic workout programs for us, and it's doable in 20 with consistency. CoreStrength50plus.com. You can change your body at any age.
I love that. I love that. Aloha, Diana from Maine. Aloha.
So I met Elaine is based in Bali, and I actually wrote the first draft of my manuscript in Bali, and it's a country that's dear to my
Oh,
heart. But she records those videos on her farm, and there are many times you hear the chickens
oh, I
in
love it. Oh
in
my
the
gosh.
background. And I've told her this because I've done virtual workouts before, and they're all wonderful, and there's so many talented
I'm
providers.
going
And
to do it.
I would urge you just to find one that you connect with.
Right.
But with Elaine, I literally, I feel like she's there because at the any moment, her videos, she'll tweak what you're doing, and it's like, oh, did you see that I was slacking? Like, where are you? Like, do you see through the video? It's crazy, and she's just spot on, and her terminology, because she's from New Zealand, is a bit different. Like, she says, sit back like you're sitting on the loo, for
Right.
squats. But I've always known, as a competitive athlete as a kid, I've always known you don't need to be in a gym for an hour, 2 hours. You can, if you do it right. And I actually did learn that again. It was reinforced during my time at Canyon Ranch over and over. It's like it's what you do and how the intent and the focus that you put into it, what you get out of it. And so I encourage you all to go. She's on Instagram, Core Strength 50. Check it out.
I'm going to put the website up there right now.
Her booty buster works.
I'm
That's
I'm
all I'm
going
going
to do
to
it.
say. It
Mel,
works.
I'm going to do it. And again, it happens. I had all best intentions,
Diana,
and I've got
oh,
everything ready to go, and I'm totally going to do it. Oh, I'm going to put some other
I
uh
hope so.
I
And
am.
well, I'm
I
coming out,
Yes, you
and
are.
we've got some big stuff coming up.
We do. We do.
And one thing I do want to say before we share what's coming is that part of all of this and what we're talking about and how we're kind of easing into this stage of our lives is ease of routine.
Right,
Don't
right.
you, like, I find I've always loved, style and makeup and everything, and you buy every color that comes out, and I've really pared down, and don't you kind of settle in and you find that you know what works, really what looks good. And when I can
Absolutely.
pack in a little bag and do that, it's so easy. I wear what's safe for me and comfortable. I have come across the most incredible sun protection line. It's UPF 50, and the company's called Coolabar. They make swimwear, sporting wear. My sons wear golf. In fact, what's my son that's home, my youngest son, played football at Kentucky, and he wears the shirts to weddings, and they have his size. He's a double X now. He was a bigger lineman when he was playing, but all the big guys want the shirt because he's not sweating. So
Ah.
they'll be out on the town, and they're dripping, and he's just, and during the day he can wear it, and they wear it on the golf course. It's beautiful, and for the baby, my sweet little
And it's
man,
important because cancer is prevalent, and be
it
able to
is.
protect ourselves.
It's
We
everywhere,
gotta
but
care.
especially for us in the desert.
Yeah.
I don't intentionally sit in the sun. This is me. And that hat, I will just tell you, packs up and goes everywhere with me. I don't leave the house without it.
And
It's
look at how cute these are. Oh my gosh.
look at my little
Oh my
eyelids.
goodness.
I
Oh
know.
my goodness. I told you I want to pinch those little cheeks. They're
I
just
know.
they're
They are
pinchable.
pinchable.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
adorable. You also talk about though protecting our lips, right?
Well, and so I actually just went through, I've had 2 treatments. Freezing. I had it like precancerous. So we got it where we want it. So I started that being said, I started using this Kula. It's sunscreen lipstick. So it protects, but it's easy. It's colored. Look at this. It's so cool. They have different colors. This is the one I like. It's called raspberry. And then I top it with this little gloss. Okay, so I live in that. I can be going out to a formal ball or to the pool. This is what I do.
Right. Right. And
And
it's great,
it's
great product.
keeping things simple because there's other things that matter more. at this, and I don't need to completely reinvent myself with every style that comes out. I know it looks good on me. I know what I'm comfortable in. Don't you
And
find
I
that
agree. I think that that's what comes
with
with
age?
age, is that we just don't care anymore what other people think. And we've
Yeah.
had this conversation over and over and over again, that it's liberating to be able to say, no, I don't want to do that. No, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to wear that. Oh, don't tell me what I can wear after a certain age. Oh my gosh, if have you ever Googled that, what not to wear after
No,
40?
because I never cared. I
Oh,
never
oh
cared.
my gosh, like pages and pages and pages, like it's a thing.
Well, but I'll share a funny story. So, and actually, I'm going to share these. When Kathy, my friend that passed, was my editor, and we actually started the publishing company together until her cancer took a front seat. But so we wrote about one of the things that we did for the PR tour was when Mel met Kathy, when Kathy met Mel, and the stories were pretty similar, but it was fun to see the perspective. And she reminded me that when I moved to Maryland, 'cause I'm from San Diego. It was in January, and I didn't have a Maryland winter coat. And she had to take me shopping to find and it was kind of this because you show up in these funky shoes, which were like the checkerboard Vans, and a cute little fur coat. She's like, "Who are you?"
You were
So
cute. You
yeah,
were very
I
cute.
but it was not really effective Maryland wear. Yeah, I think you just figure out what
Right,
works for you and you're
right,
comfortable in it. And being comfortable in your own skin has so many connotations, but it's profound. It's like I get up in the morning and I have my routine and I'm comfortable with that.
right,
But when
right.
I interact with people, I'm comfortable and getting to that place feels really good. It's a
It
journey.
really does. It really does. And I never thought I would get to this point. But now that I'm at this point, it's like I can't imagine that I was not at this point.
I
And
know, right?
because we all say yes to things that we don't want to say yes to, because we want to be the popular girl, and then you realize it's like we're back in high school again, and
Mhm.
it's kind of icky. So I think when I
It
finally
feels
realized
icky.
it was
Mhm.
icky, that I kind of stopped. We're going to tease something right now before we get into what we're reading and all that other stuff. We're going
We're going places.
we're going places. We're going places. And the reason why I'm drinking
A Napa
a
wine.
Napa wine is because, get ready, guys, mark your calendars. Sometime in the spring, we don't have the dates yet. We're going to take an Uncork live trip,
A road trip.
a road trip
Girls
to
road trip.
Napa. I don't know if everyone knows this. I lived in Napa for years and years and years, so we get the opportunity to connect with all of my contacts. So all the best restaurants, all the best wineries, we get in behind the scenes. Some really great stuff. So just put it on your calendar that you want to go with Mel and Caren on the
On the
first
road trip.
Uncork Live road trip
And we'll
to
have
Napa.
lots of highlights for you to see. And when you do take a trip there, you're gonna have your guide, the uncorked guide.
Exactly.
And that's
Exactly.
another that's why I'm drinking Farniente. It's a Napa wine, and
Right.
we were introduced many years ago to Beth Nickel through a mutual friend here in Tucson who went to Oklahoma State with her, and their wines are, I mean, they're my favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unparalleled.
nickel and
They're delicious.
nickel, they're just beautiful
Nickel,
wines.
yeah, they're
Near
delicious.
dear to my heart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they have the most beautiful flowers on the front of their vineyards as you
I
go
know.
down
And her
towards.
and the vineyard it's a little
Oh my
slice of
gosh, so
Italy and
beautiful, so
Napa.
beautiful. I
Yeah,
know
so
we have.
but we're gonna start from in the desert and go up the coast. So you're gonna see it all.
You're
You're
going
gonna
to see
get
it all. Hey, Deborah, good to see you. What a road trip! I'm sure you're going to follow
yes,
along.
yes.
Deborah's awesome. Thank you for joining in, Deborah. Um, we're going to, as we said, we kind of mixing things up to this time around. We're going to let you know what we're doing and what we're reading and what we're listening to, and some recommendations. And I'm going to go first because I can,
Yes, you can.
um, because I can. I am very much in the minimalism world. I think less is more. I truly believe less is more. And this guy Joshua Becker, who is pretty fascinating. He wrote another book called The More of Less, but he's all in the minimalism
So
world.
wonderful.
And it's not about like getting rid of everything and being poor. That's not what this is about. It's about scaling everything back to what's important. only the things that are important. And it's fascinating when you realize all the stuff. I have literally pared down every time I move. I have moved more than most people have moved. I
Doesn't it
mean,
feel
like,
good to clean out?
it is
Oh my
so
God,
good.
it is liberating.
It is liberating. I get rid of everything, and then I don't know where it all comes back again. But
Husband. I have to clean the garage when he's out of town, and it will be years before he'll notice something's gone. But he's the biggest pack rat.
me too. Me too. We finally got our garage clean. This is the other book that I'm reading. I'm very into meditation, and David Gandelman, who is one of the,
Love him. Oh my God.
I adore this guy, and he's very big on Insight Timer, which is one of the apps that I use. But he now has his own app,
His
his
own
own
app.
meditation school, meditation.us, I believe it's called. But this is his first book, The Seven Energies of the Soul, and I love this because when I first opened this up, I said, "Oh, I'm a creator. Oh, no, 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 I'm the healer. Oh, wait, maybe I'm a warrior." And literally it goes through all the different energies, and you realize that we make all of those things are part
Mhm.
of who we are. So I encourage you to go check this out. It's on Amazon. We'll put some links in later on. You can go check it out. Mel, what are you reading?
So I have on my nightstand probably 10 books, and I'm this. So depending on my mood, I might read this. So right now I'm committed to finishing book 2 in the Rosie Project, now it's the Rosie Effect. Book 1 was fabulous. He's an incredible writer, and if you
Yeah,
haven't, it's a trilogy. He's Melbourne, Australia author.
right.
He's fabulous, and it's just it's you read it, and it's just so witty and entertaining.
The
So
second
I'm
one is
trying
slower. The second
to
one is a little slower.
second one, it's taken me some time to get into, full disclosure. The first one I couldn't put down. I was constantly it
Yeah,
was done in a minute.
yeah,
This one, but part of that is because I am reading a lot of other things. You saw in that picture, the Stanley
right.
Tucci book, fabulous. And then this is my I can't put down right now. And this is called Find Your People by Jenny Allen. And my daughter-in-law gave me this, and it is the most beautiful, just insightful book about, first of all, our striving to find community
Right,
and
right.
find connection in a very disconnected world. It's ironic. We're worldwide, and we have the web, and we're virtually connected to everybody, and we've
But
never
we're
been
really
more
not.
disconnected.
Yeah.
But one thing, and it was very cool, she talks about the power of the fire throughout history, and it's a uniting, a connecting, a comfort gathering around
Mhm.
the fire pit. And she talks about how she found her people and connection in moving to a new area, in having neighbors over and sitting around the fire pit in their house. So then when I had the opportunity
Right.
to learn how to make fire, it just seemed like a beautiful connection. But I have made a notebook for myself, and I'm doing work as I go through it, because there's just so much.
Oh,
It's a great
wow.
learning. It's kind of one of those aha moment books when you're like, "Oh, I don't do that." And, we think that we're really good friends by always listening and being there for everyone else. But we need to be there, and we need to
Right,
be vulnerable, and allow people to
right.
be there for us.
Exactly.
Friendships and relationships need to be a two-way street. And I'm
Absolutely.
learning that more and more, because I'm the one, I like to just be there. And
Yeah.
oh no, I'm fine. It's all good. I'm
It's
good.
all good. All good.
So I don't really express, and I did a lot of that at Canyon Ranch, and really opened up, and it does take you to another level of
Right.
moving
Right.
moving through your day.
I'd
It's
like to
wonderful.
hear what you guys are reading. If you are reading something really great, let us know what you're reading. Put it in the chat, because we're always, well, Mel has stacks of books on her nightstand, so she needs a couple of more to put on her nightstand. Let us know what you're reading. We're not just reading, though. You and I both, we have a lot of things in common. We both come from the classical music
Mm,
background. I'm a classical pianist. You are a classical violinist, right?
yes.
Violinist.
Mhm.
And we both love music, and
Mhm.
we created. I'm
Wide
going to put
range.
a wide range, and you'll see it when you go to our Uncorked playlist, which is over on Spotify. Just go to uncorkedplaylist.online, and Mel has curated an amazing amount of
So
songs.
fun.
We have similar likes. I mean, we love Teddy Swims.
Oh
If
my
you have
God.
not heard Teddy Swims, you need to go check him out. This guy is freaking awesome. But
So,
it's everything.
2 weeks ago, I saw Bonnie Raitt here in Tucson. The chick is 73 years old. She played for 2 hours. I mean, granted, she's not Springsteen jumping around. She was engaged with the audience. It was one of the best concerts I've loved her music forever, and to get to see her live and to talk to her was incredible. Her music, oh my gosh, it was, and
Wow.
there's a lot of her. I mean, there's a lot of our favorites. What are you loving right now, Caren?
Classical. Yeah, classical, and specifically the artist Yuruma, Yiruma, and it's all piano music.
Oh, of
And
course.
I'm a pianist, so I love that. And it is so, I used to call it elevator music, but it really isn't. It's beautiful, beautiful music. And actually, some singers he's put some words to some of the music, and they've got some singers. But I like to listen to music without words normally,
Mhm.
because otherwise my head just starts to explode. There's
Explodes.
too much going on. I don't
Mhm.
know about you. What are you listening to that you particularly like?
Well, this week, I will say I've been listening to like my favorite college song was Billy Joel. I've loved these days, and it's on repeat on my Spotify. It brings back so many fabulous school memories. I Teddy Swims' new release.
A new song.
Oh my God.
I mean, this guy, there's not a single song that's bad.
I know. But I have to right now, I think probably one of my favorite artists is Chris Stapleton.
He's awesome.
I know. And he's doing an incredible benefit concert tonight in Lexington,
Oh,
Kentucky, um, for the flood victims and at Rupp Arena. And I'm flying there tomorrow, so I missed it. But his
great.
music, he just touches my soul beyond
He's
words.
amazing.
He
He's
is.
amazing. What I like about him is he's country, but he's not. He's crossed over. Justin Timberlake did some stuff with him. I mean, so he totally is a crossover talent, which I totally love.
Mm.
I want to jump into our giveaway
Oh my
because
God.
we've been
We
teasing.
really haven't talked about it too much.
We
So
have
let's,
not
yeah.
talked about it at all. So I don't know if you noticed. Cheers. We have these really cool wine
It's
chillers. You'll
almost
notice
empty.
yeah, mine's empty too. I was embarrassed. I didn't want to pour anymore, but I might do that. So our giveaways, we are going to be giving away to some lucky person two wine chillers with the Uncorked on the front. And we're going to show you how you can enter to win. You got an entire month to enter. Again, it's technology. Go ahead and take your camera. Just take your camera and put it right in front of this.
You don't even need the QR
You
app.
don't need the QR app. Just use your camera. It will take you over to the rules of how to, enter this contest. So I'm going to leave it up just for a second. There are several ways that you can enter. You can enter by sharing this video. You can like this video. You can do a post and tag Mel or myself or both of us, Mel G. Berg on Instagram, Caren Glasser on Instagram. You can do a hashtag Uncorked Live. Any one of those things, and you can enter as many times as you like, and we will search and get everything there. And we're going to grab one lucky winner. And on November 8th, on our November show, which we will be together,
We
God willing,
will,
we will be together. We will
unless
give
it
you,
happens.
unless it happens, we will pull a name, and that person will win the two chillers. We also want to thank Gwen. Gwen lives well. We
Oh
want to
my
thank
God.
Catherine Grace. I
Catherine
mean,
Grace.
they have been so amazing sharing us out. So we want to thank them.
And I want to just interject here real quick on that line because we have met through this. We're in this virtual world. You know people, but you don't. Just like you know celebrities, but you don't. You feel that you do. And
Right.
but through Caren, through what you've gone through this summer, through what I've just gone through this past 2 weeks, the people that have reached out that I don't really know personally, I don't have a
Mhm.
relationship, I don't have a history, have been so kind and so
Yep.
gracious, and it
Yep.
means so much. And I think we need more of that. We
We
need
do.
more authentic, beautiful, true connection. And
We
I
do.
really appreciate, and I know Caren, you do too, everyone out there. And let's keep this going and let's stay true to each other and make each other better.
Absolutely. We hope you enjoyed our premiere season 2 episode of Uncorked Live. Thank you to everyone who was on. We had quite a few people that were on. Thank you for commenting. You saw that we popped you up on the screen. Go out, give somebody an awesome day, and we're going to see you next time on November 8th on the next Uncork Live. Goodbye, everyone.
Ciao.
Ciao, everyone.